Millions of people across Spain and Portugal have been hit by massive power cuts. Trains stopped, planes were grounded, and there was chaos on the roads as traffic lights failed. Internet and mobile phone networks are down. Shops and businesses were plunged into darkness, and there's been panic buying. Well, it isn't yet clear what has caused the blackouts, but a cyber attack appears to have been ruled out. This report from Ellie Price.
Tonight, it's not as dark as many had feared it could be, for this street in Madrid at least.
An hour and a half ago, the light's back, but there are certain neighbourhoods in Madrid that haven't done it. It's been a bit of a fearful day, but now it seems that all is over.
But earlier, this was the metro system in Porto. A similar picture in other big cities as the outage hit Spain and Portugal, as well as parts of southern France this morning. Back in Spain, locals helped stranded passengers as trains literally stopped in their tracks. The entire rail network ground to a halt. This one, midway between Seville and Madrid.
Everyone's sort of been so nice, and anytime anyone's got any food or water, they share it around everyone. So that's been really nice, just kind of that kind of community feeling.
For those who chose to drive, more misery. This is what happened as soon as the traffic lights stopped working. The centre of Madrid quickly grinding to a standstill.
I don't understand anything. I just don't know who to turn to. My daughter's in Barcelona about to give birth. We're going to miss the train to get there and see her.
There were flight delays, cancellations and frustrations in both countries, though Lisbon Airport was the worst hit.
Currently expecting to have to stay in Lisbon overnight, but I have no idea if I can actually even book a hotel because currently places can't take any payment.
Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Racha HaKodash. They give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that have taught us this truth that it comes ruling well through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Shai. A peace, mercy, and blessings to the beloved Akim that are out there pushing his word wholeheartedly in truth and in sincerity, that are not wavering to the left nor to the right, but constantly staying on that straight and narrow, fighting for your crowns in these last days that we are truly living in. Even shalom to the few sisters, the Aquafs that are out there, and even shalom to the Israelite foreigners, those that may look like the other nations, but their seed line going back to our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Alright, I'm the brother Ira, coming back with another lesson to Lord willing, edifying, feed the lambs of the Lord, which Lord willing, this lesson is edifying, concise, and straight to the point. Okay, and it just shows you how, just in a matter of moments to seconds, all right, how things can go far left, all right, when you least expect it, okay? You know, because everybody out there in Spain, Portugal, you know, life was just continuing as normal, okay? People are visiting family, people booking hotels, taking trips, taking flights, all right, doing commerce, things of that nature. But then all of a sudden everything just changed, okay, where, you know, now they're under a state of emergency. All right, whether it was a cyber attack or, you know, whatever took place, you know, it being all set up, okay, it just shows you how life can be interrupted just that fast. All right, and that's, you know, that's why ultimately the scriptures do speak about how being circumspect, you know, because of the times and the days of evil. All right, like the woman had made mention, which I'm gonna play it back. All right, she had made mention that her daughter was getting ready to give birth, and she was getting ready to travel to go meet her daughter, but now she's at a standstill. She don't know what to do. She's stuck. You know, many people here in America, Babylon the Great, they're gonna find themselves in them type of situations. Okay, so the Lord kind of gives preludes to things that happen overseas, of major events that's going to even take place that's going to be over here. All right, so I want to start real fast. Matter of fact, let me get this in a book of Proverbs. Right. All right. Proverbs chapter 24, verse 22. It says, "For their calamities shall rise suddenly, and who knoweth the ruin of them both. All right, so calamity, all right, is dealing with pretty much hard times, all right, difficult times. Okay, matter of fact, let's get the word calamity real fast. Yeah, Salakia, my father had called me, but I was gonna grab the word calamity, okay, which right here in the dictionary it says an event causing great and often sudden damage or distress, or a disaster. All right, and that's what them people are in. All right, a state of disaster. Okay, stressed out. People can't get home. All right, and people are not used to life just stopping abruptly like that. All right, so these type of measurements is coming to Babylon the Great. All right, things getting ready to get bad. All right, this is the Lord warning as of right now. Matter of fact, let me grab another precept, okay, before I play it back. I want to go to Ecclesiastes chapter 9 verse 12. It says, for man also knoweth not his time, as the fishes that are taken in an evil net, and as the birds that are caught in a snare, so are the sons of men snared in an evil time, when it falleth sudden upon them. All right, because the reason why people fall into that snare, all right, and not know when it comes, is because why? They're not paying attention to the warning, the prophecies. All right, they're not taking heed to the message. All right, and the Lord got his messengers harping on these things. All right, preparing, okay, the tribes, you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, Native American, the Seminole Indians, for the days of evil, or the battle, so to speak. Okay, because the enemy, which is dealing with the Edomites, all right, started with the banking families, all right, they're getting ready to come down upon the inhabitants with great wrath. Okay, let's get one more precept, and I'm gonna go back to the video. Ezekiel chapter 7, all right, verse 14. It says, they have blown the trumpet even to make all ready, but none go up to the battle, for my wrath is upon all the multitude thereof. So these things that are taking place, these events, all right, or these calamities, all right, these are all the doings of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, okay, using men on the earth to orchestrate events, okay, terrifying events. All right, so let's watch some more of this video, and let's bring out some more precepts in between, okay.
Lack of phone signal quickly became problematic for everyone, with businesses shutting up shop, unable to keep the lights on or take card payments, which then meant people rushed to take out cash. Where retailers could stay open, shoppers came to get what they could, the shelves emptying quickly in some areas.
You see, and that causes, when situations like this arise, it causes what? More crime to take place. All right, people go into a panic mode, so they start taking what they need. All right, so hey, when things happen, we're going to see more empty shelves. They're already saying now that because of these tariffs and things like that, and how bad things are getting, by May, you're going to start seeing less truckers on the road. You're going to see less products on the store shelves. Okay, so eventually people are going to wisen up, and we're going to start seeing panic buying. We're going to see more crimes go up. All right, and we already know the mindset of these Edomites. Okay, order, ab, chaos. Okay. They need some way to create a situation to where they can create the problem, get a reaction out to people, and come with the solution. All right, so these things happen all in a sudden. All right, and that's what the people in Spain are feeling, a sudden situation that they probably never thought would take place or happen. Okay, matter of fact, let's go to the book of 2nd Ezra chapter 16. All right, because we're living in those times of these prophecies. All right, they're speaking more than ever. All right, let's go to 2nd Ezra 16 and 17, starting at the top. It says, woe is me, who will deliver me in those days, the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? Let's jump down a little bit, all right, to verse 21. It says, behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. All right, these people thought themselves to be in a good case until this situation arose. All right, and it's not going to be always a thing of people going to band together, all right? Because see, when food runs out and people get to the point of they're having to ration, all right, and people going hungry, all right, it creates a tendency for people to act more violent, all right, and become more cutthroat. So even though people might carry on that spirit of, all right, we're a community, eventually people are going to turn on one another, all right? They're going to have an evil eye towards one another, okay? Which means lives, all right, will be lost in the process, okay? These are real scenarios and events that are going to take place here in Babylon the Great, okay? It says, and even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion, all right? People are in a state of confusion, all right? Because everything is done through electricity, okay? The internet access you have, your telephone providers, the access to you receiving your money, all right, out the bank, you know, you making purchases and payments, all right, all that's done through electricity and the internet. So once these things go down, okay, it's likened unto you pretty much being into the Stone Age, all right? Everything goes back to basic standards, so to speak, you know, all right? And everybody's been conditioned to live off, you know what I'm saying, what the internet provides and things of that nature, okay? So you can already see how things are going to get extremely bad, all right? So it says, for many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy, all right? Because see, when violence comes, they're going to have to issue out martial law, military troops, okay? So let's say this thing carries out for weeks at a time, months at a time, all right? Eventually, all right, what people have in their storage, their houses, all right, and when the store shelves become ransacked, all right, eventually more violence is going to take place, and you know, all those that are covered by backup generators and things of that nature that have lights, okay? People going to want to covet these things, all right? People going to want to take over these things. They show you, you watch all these different apocalyptic type of movies, and they show you how people try to take strongholds and things of that nature, and then, you know, the current acting president issues out some type of declaration or martial law, all right, to quell the violence and secure order amongst the people. These things that you see in the movies are going to be real life events. Let's play some more of this video.
Shoppers came to get what they could, the shelves emptying quickly in some areas.
Is it bothering you like this?
Play was suspended at the Madrid Open, including for Britain's Jacob Fernley, as a camera got stuck in the way and the electronic line judges and scoreboards stopped working.
Look, you know, people still caught up at the bread and circus, you know, sports. Look how everything just abruptly stopped, you know, in the middle of what they're doing, okay? So just shows you in a matter suddenly how events can change just that quickly, okay? All right? And this is why it's imperative, it's important, all right, to watch, as the scriptures say. Matter of fact, hold on, let's grab that as well, you know. All right, in the book of Luke, the 21st chapter, okay, the scriptures say watch as well as pray, okay? You should be praying to Yahweh Bashim Abishai. You see what I'm saying? All right, because when these things go down, you're not going to be caught off guard. Luke. This is Luke 21 and 36. It says, watch ye therefore and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man. Okay? You know, this is why it's important to turn to Yahweh Bashim Abishai, because the scriptures do speak about how Isaiah 33 and 6, it says, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time, and strength of salvation, the fear of the Lord is his treasure. All right. So when these things happen, when you can't have access to your loved ones and you can't reach out to them, hey, you know, you're gonna have to remember what the scriptures say, to keep your mind stable, okay, during, you know, them trying times, man. You know, you're gonna have total faith in Yahweh by Shema Shai to make it through what the Lord's getting ready to bring to this place. You know, it's gonna be some dark and trying times that's getting ready to hit the world. Okay, and that's why we say that the Lord is only going to have the elect that's going to make it through, that's going to be able to endure all these things, because the average person are not looking, to what the Lord had his prophets say, and the average person, that they don't fear Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, man. All right, so when these things come, they're going to come suddenly. All right, when you least expect it. And that's just the spirit of the Lord. Even the Heavenly Father has his son Yahushai coming suddenly in an hour that he doesn't even know. All right, when he's going to arise. Okay, but we have an indicator according to, you know, World War III taking place and the missiles flying, that we'll see the Lord come at the right time. All right, to deliver the elect. But that's just how the Heavenly Father does things. You know, all right, because we don't operate on our own times. We operate on his times. Okay? Let's watch some more though. You know, I'm gonna play majority of the rest of this.
Working. It didn't affect American Coco Gauff powering through to the quarterfinal though, but it did ruin her post-match interview.
Maybe I just need to not get a lot of sleep.
When the mic and sound system went off. The rest of the day's action at the tournament was called off. Spectators had to leave in the dark. The Portuguese government has ruled out a cyber attack, but tonight Spain's Prime Minister said all causes would be investigated, as he asked people to only use their mobile phones responsibly.
Telecommunications are now at a critical moment. It may be a few hours until we can fully recover electricity, and therefore we need to make short calls and only use the emergency number if it's really necessary.
Things may be starting to look a little more normal for some, but tonight the Spanish government says less than half of the country's energy demand has been recovered. Portugal's main power operator has said it could take a week to return to full normality. Ellie Price, BBC News.
Yeah, just to say, in the last few minutes, we've heard from the Spanish.
So that's pretty much it, Akim. You know, I pretty much kind of tag all the points that I want to kind of hit. You know, just as the scriptures say, you know, stay occupied in these prophecies, all right? Because things is happening fast, things is moving fast, all right? So, you know, you want to keep your head on a swivel, so to speak. Let's grab that real fast. In Sirach chapter 39 verse 1, it says, but he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and is occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancients, and be occupied in prophecy. All right, so, you know, keep watching as well as praying. You know, you brothers and you sisters out there, and may Yahweh B'Shem Shai, you know, be with us all right, when these things arrive here, okay, in full effect, as we know it to be Jacob's trouble. So, Lord willing, this was edifying to the Lord's elect. With that, I'm gonna say shalom.